This show is part of One Place, a daily network of focused briefings across the stories people follow most.
Welcome to the Roundup. We have a heavy but essential set of stories today. Here's what is coming up. Rihanna's Beverly Hills home was targeted in a shooting while she was inside. New details have emerged regarding the suspect and the vehicle involved in that gunfire. The incident comes at a busy time for the singer, who has been teasing a major return to the recording studio. Over at Saturday Night Live, Harry Styles made a surprise appearance during Ryan Gosling's opening monologue. The upcoming Harry Potter TV series is reportedly dealing with a serious bullying problem on set. James Van Der Beek's 9-year-old daughter shared a moving message on what would have been her father's 49th birthday. Prince Andrew is reportedly living in isolation under home confinement at the Sandringham estate. Netflix has officially announced a new live concert special featuring Harry Styles in Manchester. Kimberly Van Der Beek paid her own emotional tribute to her late husband's legacy. And finally, Christina Applegate has released an unfiltered memoir filled with shocking revelations about her life and career.
Now, let's get into our first story. It was a terrifying Sunday afternoon for Rihanna. Her Beverly Hills mansion was the target of a shooting, while the 38-year-old superstar was actually inside the residence. According to reports, a woman was taken into custody after firing multiple shots from her car toward the home. Thankfully, Rihanna is said to be unharmed, though the situation was incredibly volatile. Law enforcement arrived on the scene and found the suspect, described as a woman in her 30s, and detained her immediately.
The property itself is a $14 million mansion in a very secluded cul-de-sac, so this kind of violence is especially shocking for that neighborhood. She lives there with her partner, $AP Rocky, and their 3 young children, Riza, Riot, and Rocky. We don't know for certain if the rest of the family was home at the time, but the fact that Rihanna was there makes this a very close call. Photos from the scene showed yellow police tape and a heavy law enforcement presence blocking off the street near her home, which is right across from Sir Paul McCartney's place.
Moving on to more specific details from the investigation.
The LAPD has provided a bit more clarity on exactly what happened during that 1:20 p.m. incident. Sources say the suspect fired approximately 10 rounds from inside her vehicle, which was identified as a white Tesla. One of those rounds actually managed to penetrate a wall of the mansion. The driver reportedly tried to flee the scene on Coldwater Canyon Drive before she was apprehended by officers. It's a miracle that no one was hit, given the number of shots fired into the structure.
What's still missing here is a motive. Police haven't yet confirmed if the shooter was specifically targeting Rihanna or if this was a random act of violence, but firing 10 rounds directly at a gate and home suggests some level of intent. The suspect is currently in custody, and investigators are working through the radio dispatch logs and witness statements to piece together why she was parked outside that specific gate in the first place. It's a sobering reminder of the security risks these high-profile stars face, even in gated, high-end communities.
Next up, we look at where Rihanna's head has been lately before this incident.
This security scare comes right as Rihanna has been heavily hinting at a return to music. She's been seen at recording studios in New York City as recently as January, and she even joked in a video last month about having the longest day ever because she had to balance studio time with making a Mardi Gras costume for her son. Fans have been waiting years for a follow-up to her album Anti, and she's admitted that she's been aggressively working on new material, even though she won't commit to a release date just yet.
She's spoken quite a bit about the pressure she feels to match the cohesiveness of Anti. She calls it her most brilliant work because of how it flows from track to track without a glitch. It's interesting to see her back in that creative headspace, especially while managing her Fenty Beauty empire and 3 kids. Just last week, she and $AP Rocky were spotted out on a date night looking happy and relaxed. It's just devastating that this momentum has been interrupted by such a violent event at her private sanctuary.
Now let's shift to some lighter news from the weekend over at SNL.
Ryan Gosling was hosting Saturday Night Live for the 4th time, and he was in the middle of a monologue about his new film, Project Hail Mary, when he spotted a very famous face in the front row. It was Harry Styles, just sitting there smiling. Ryan played it perfectly, acting a bit annoyed and asking, "What are you doing here, man?" Harry revealed he's actually hosting next week and wanted to get a feel for the room. The chemistry between those two heartthrobs was immediate, and the audience absolutely lost it.
The bit kept going with Ryan trying to talk about space and the pale blue dot, but the camera kept cutting back to Harry Styles. Ryan eventually snapped, asking Harry to listen less cool because his coolness was becoming an issue for the monologue. It culminated in the entire cast, including Ryan and Sarah Sherman, performing a mashup of Harry's Sign of the Times with a bit of that I'm just Ken energy. It was a great way to pass the torch to Harry for his upcoming hosting gig, and it reminded everyone why Gosling is an SNL favorite.
Now, we have some troubling reports from the set of a major upcoming production.
The new Harry Potter TV series for HBO is already making headlines, but not for the reasons Warner Brothers would want. There are reports of a bullying problem on set, including claims that two 12-year-old extras were caught fighting. This is a massive production that's expected to last 8 years, so the higher-ups are reportedly taking a zero-tolerance approach. They've issued warnings to both the child actors and the adults, making it clear that any bad eggs will be axed immediately, regardless of how famous they are or how vital their role might seem.
It's a high-stakes environment, especially with big names like John Lithgow playing Dumbledore and Nick Frost as Hagrid. Dominic McLaughlin, who is only 11, is taking on the role of Harry Potter, so there is a lot of pressure on these young kids. The studio is desperate to nip this in the bud, because they want this to be the streaming event of the decade. They are planning 7 seasons to cover all 7 books, aiming for a level of detail we didn't get in the movies. But if the culture on set is toxic this early on, it could jeopardize the whole project.
Next up, a very touching tribute from a young girl to her father.
Amelia Vanderbeek, the 9-year-old daughter of the late James Vanderbeek, shared a truly heartbreaking but beautiful video on what would have been his 49th birthday. James passed away just last month after a battle with stage 3 colorectal cancer. In the video, Amelia gave tips to others who are grieving, saying the most important thing is to keep talking to the person you lost. She said she talks to her dad every day, starting with, "Hi, Dad. I miss you and I love you." And she tells him all about her day.
It's incredibly poised for a 9-year-old. She spoke about how her dad told her that even if things didn't work out the way they wanted, with his health, she still had to believe in miracles. She told her followers that her dad isn't in pain anymore and is in a good place above the clouds. James was only 48 when he died, leaving behind his wife Kimberly and their 6 children. The family has seen an outpouring of support, with a GoFundMe raising over $2.7 million to help them navigate life without him.
Now, let's turn to the ongoing situation involving the former Prince Andrew.
Prince Andrew is reportedly struggling with his new reality at the Sandringham estate. Following his arrest in February on suspicion of misconduct in public office, he's been confined to Wood Farm. According to royal biographers, he's essentially become a couch potato. He's reportedly not even allowed to go out the front door to go horseback riding, which was one of his few remaining hobbies. Instead, he spends his days in his dressing gown, watching movies and old videos. It sounds like a very isolated existence for someone who used to thrive on royal status.
His biographer, Andrew Loney, says that status was everything to Andrew. It was his entire identity. Now that King Charles has stripped him of his titles and his royal lodge home, he's lost that sense of self-importance. Most of his friends have abandoned him, and he's reportedly broken by the fact that he'll never have a state funeral or the royal future he once expected. He still apparently hopes to do business activities, but the reality of his legal situation and his exile from the core royal family makes that seem highly unlikely.
Let's shift back to some music news involving a Netflix debut.
Harry Styles is officially making his streaming debut on Netflix with a concert special titled One Night in Manchester. It was taped just this past Friday at the Co-op Live Arena and features him performing his entire 4th studio album, Kiss All the Time. Disco, occasionally. This is a huge win for Netflix, which has been leaning into live music specials recently with stars like Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran. The special is meant to give fans a preview of what's to come on his Together Together World Tour, which starts in May.
The teaser for the special is actually pretty funny. It shows Harry recreating the iconic Too Dumb Netflix sound effect. It's a smart move for his brand, especially since this is his first live concert to ever hit a streaming platform. Fans who couldn't get tickets to the Manchester show will be able to see the full performance of the new album starting today. It's clear Harry is in a massive promotional cycle right now between this Netflix special and his upcoming hosting duties on Saturday Night Live next week.
Now, we return to the Vanderbeek family as they continue to honor James.
Kimberly Vanderbeek also shared a deeply emotional tribute on what would have been James's birthday. She posted a series of photos on her Instagram story, reflecting on her husband's life and the tremendous hole his absence has left. She shared videos of him working the land on their property from just a year and a half ago, doing what he loved. She called him the light of our lives and praised his tenderness and protection as a father. It's clear that even though they are grieving, they are trying to celebrate the beauty he brought to their lives.
One of the most poignant things she wrote was that she doesn't even know how to process this loss yet. She described James as the best humanity had to offer. The photos showed him in very normal, sweet moments, dancing with the kids, doing DIY projects around the house, and just being present. It's a devastating reminder of how quickly things can change, as he was only diagnosed in 2023. The family is clearly leaning on each other and their faith to get through these first few milestones without him.
Finally, we have some major bombshells from a new celebrity memoir.
Christina Applegate's new book, You with the Sad Eyes, is officially out, and it is incredibly raw. She covers everything from being molested by a babysitter at age 5 to her secret battle with anorexia while she was playing Kelly Bundy on Married with Children. She even reveals that she had an abortion at 19 while in an abusive relationship. She's very honest about why she's telling these stories now, saying she's a stronger, different, resilient human being, and she wants to lay it all bare.
Christina doesn't hold back on her health struggles either. She was diagnosed with MS in 2021 while filming the final season of Dead to Me. She describes the physical pain as feeling like her skin has fifth-degree burns and her feet feeling like they're walking on needles. It's heartbreaking to hear her talk about how it affects her relationship with her daughter, Sadie, who went from having a mom she could hike and dance with to seeing her confined to a bed. But she also shares lighter stories, like the time she ditched Brad Pitt at the 1989 VMAs to leave with the lead singer of Skid Row.
That's all for today's roundup. It's been a day of high-stakes news and deeply personal reflections from some of our favorite stars. We'll be back tomorrow with more updates on these stories and the other headlines you're following. In the meantime, make sure to follow the show so you never miss a briefing. I'm host B.
And I'm host A. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.